Let's talk a little bit about the Chargers, Jackie.
Well,
Chargers have a little ways to go, too.
Well, you know what? This is a little concerning to me because Austin Ekeler is what, 200 pounds, something like that. He's a little guy, and he's not the type of guy that you think about when you think about loading up your offensive run game. A guy you can get a football to 30 times. You don't look at Austin Ekeler as that type of a guy. Tom Telesco and his staff has got their hands full because they have brought in Kellen Moore, the new offensive coordinator, to work with young Justin Herbert. But if you remember when they lost that game to Jacksonville, after having that 27-point lead, what they were not able to do in that ball game was consistently run the ball. And I don't want to blame their offensive line for it. I blame the inconsistency of mentally saying we got to run this football now. So I'm looking for them over there to go out and get themselves a good running back. But the thing that concerns me is this. Austin Ekeler, he recently said that the Chargers told him that they don't want to talk about an extension or adding anything to his situation. Mm-hmm. This was the first time, Austin said this was the first time in my career where I felt disrespected by our own organization. He said, it sucks. He said, I want to be a Charger. He's set to make $6.25 million this year in 2023, and it's a number that many teams don't want to touch when you start talking about trading. So to me, Austin Ekeler was a centerpiece in what they did. I mean, just Vince, look at his stats. The guy had 919 yards rushing. He toted the tater 204 times. Yeah. And then on top of that, Justin Herbert threw in the ball for 107 times. So that's 311 touches. That's 311 touches that he had, Vince.
He's the workhorse, Jack.
Vince, he averaged on those touches 5.6 yards per touch. And he had 19 touches on an average in 16 weeks. If you don't pay a guy, if you don't reward a guy, if you don't put a guy like that on your pedestal in your organization, then there's something wrong. And what are you saying to everybody else if you take the most prolific offensive threat that you have? Remember now, they got Keenan Allen and some other guys over there catching passes and making a lot of money, and you're going to treat this guy like this? I have a problem with it. I think that Austin Ekeler is justifiably angry. He should be, and that it's going to be ugly if they don't have him.
In my estimation, Jackie, you have to reward a player like that with what he's been able to produce on the field.
Absolutely.
And pound for pound, he's the toughest guy on that squad.
Absolutely.
Probably in the NFL. I mean, his size, don't let his size kid you, all right, Jackie? He's scored over 63 touchdowns in his 6 years with the Chargers. That's over 10 touchdowns per year. Guess who led the team in touchdown receptions this past year?
He did.
Austin Ekeler. He had 5. He had more than Mike Williams, more than Keenan Allen, more than the rest of the squad.
Absolutely.
Okay, so,
and that's just receiving.
Yeah, and you know how many yards he rushed for? He rushed for 915 yards, Jackie, for 4.5 yards per carry average.
Absolutely.
So when you
and 13 rushing touchdowns, Vince. Don't forget that.
13 rushing touchdowns.
The man scored 18 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's a scoring machine.
Yeah.
So in my mind, okay, I can see where he's a little upset that he's not being respected.
A little upset.
Look, but he's in his 7th year coming this year. And, running backs usually make, maybe 10 years at max.
10 good years, yeah.
But he's a little bit on the smaller side, so he probably has a little bit more of longevity.
Yeah, because he don't take a lot of shots.
He doesn't take a lot of shots.
His whole game is avoiding the big shots.
But he is tough when he carries the football, Jackie. So I'm thinking, as I look at this, I think they should wrap him up. The Chargers should wrap him up for 3 more years. Okay, because this guy's not one of those guys that's going to come out and dog it. He's not. He's going to play each and every week, Jack. He's going to give it 100% effort. That's just the nature of this player. Right. And that's the kind of guy that I want on my team, and I want him to be a focal point in my offense.
And one last thing, Vince, as an offensive lineman, if I'm sitting there watching this, knowing what he has done, and I see that the organization is not going to reward him and put him in a position where he continue to make those plays for as long as he can, then now I'm thinking, what is he going to do? What are they going to do when my situation come up? If they're going to treat Austin Ekeler like this, what are they going to do to me? Some fat guy that you don't even know my name over there. So it's a problem. I don't know how they see it. Tom Telesco has generally done a good job with player selection and player acquisition. He speaks highly of those receivers and how they, you got to have those guys. But he just brought Kellen Moore here from Dallas to integrate the running game with what they're doing in the passing game. And if he doesn't factor this guy in, this is one of their key pieces. I think that's where he would be really missing the mark. That's my opinion.
Yeah.